Yeah.
Como diría el gran filósofo Anuel. Brr, brr.
Real hasta la muerte, bebé. Ahora dime lo que es la que hay, mi gente. ¿Todo bien?
Estás juqueado con Anuel.
Yo estoy juqueado con Anuel. A mí me gustó mucho el álbum. Tiene un sonido bien diferente. Vino con algo nuevo. En verdad, yo se la doy. Hizo música diferente. Trajo el viejo Anuel, pero también tiene música comercial. Y la música comercial está bien dura. McGregor. Durísimo. Durísimo. Ese es mi tema
Yo
favorito.
todavía no me he sentado a escuchar el disco. No me ha dado la gana todavía.
No se la quiere dar.
Pero pronto lo voy a hacer, de verdad que sí.
Bueno, mi gente, hoy tenemos un invitado especial que lo conocimos durante la pandemia, a principios de la pandemia. A mí me llamó mucho la atención cuando yo lo veo por primera vez en mi feed de Instagram, como que prácticamente tocando guitarra, y pues el chamaco tenía sus loops. Y a mí me llamó mucho la atención que la manera en que él estaba promocionando sus loops no era normal. O sea, no era como que estoy tocando guitarra, mira, compra mis loops, sino como que tenía una estrategia de mercadeo bien diferente donde tenía su jeva atrás.
Ajá.
Como que prácticamente aborrecida de la vida, como que este cabrón viene otra vez a tocar guitarra. Y eso a mí en verdad me dio mucha gracia la primera vez que lo vi. De momento como que él seguía con lo de la novia como que molestándose, y entonces lo hizo un par de veces y yo dije, ok, este chaval
Era como que mi novia odia que yo toque este loop de guitarra.
ajá, y yo eso a mí en verdad me llamó mucho la atención. Yo dije, olvídate, este chamaco se merece el follow. Le di follow y de ahí para adelante, mano, yo he visto el crecimiento del chamaco. Él es de Bélgica. Habla francés, habla un poquito de español. Dice que él reclama que el español de él es de Bad Bunny. Él aprendió a hablar de español con Bad Bunny. Y nada, vamos a darle la bienvenida a Sebastien Graux.
¡Wow!
Bienvenido.
Dímelo. Directamente de Bélgica.
¡Y a diablo! Estamos conectándonos con gente de bien lejos. Sebastien, bienvenidos a nuestro Smash Podcast. ¿Cómo te sientes de verdad, de todos tus logros y todo lo que has hecho durante los tiempos de pandemia?
Me siento bien, gracias por la invitación. ¿Sí? Sí, entiendo un poquito de español, pero estoy muy malo, pero...
No, pero oye, tú hablas lo que tú creas. Si tienes que tirar de vez en cuando, mi gente, vamos a estar hablando entre español e inglés. Y si tienes que decir algo en francés, también lo vamos a escuchar y después lo buscamos y lo traducimos.
Un peu de français, comme ça passe bien, voilà. Et
DH.
yeah, I'm grateful for the past year. I started posting, my first guitar loop on BEATSTARS in June 2020, and now 1 year later, many things happened and connections, and I've been able to travel. I had my first gold, platinum plaque, and more, placements, and so super grateful, like, for all
demasiado. O sea, ya desde él empezó, mi gente, yo lo vimos empezar en la pandemia. Lo que tenía eran como 3,000 followers, no tenía nada, en verdad. Y él estaba como que en el joseo y de momento, boom. Cuéntame un poco de tu estrategia, de cómo tú comenzaste, qué pasó por tu mente. Me estabas contando ahorita que tú sabes que tú no estabas ni pensando hacer cosas digitales. ¿Cómo todo empezó?
Yeah, so sorry, I will do the English a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I started, as I told you, it was all very step by step. I go with the flow because I had no plan to really do that, like I heard years ago, like 2 years ago, somebody tells me, oh, BeatStars, it's a platform you can sell beats. I'm like, okay, got it. Then I do nothing with it. Then a year passed by, and then later on I hear some people telling me, oh yeah, you can sell a guitar loop pack and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sounds good. And as you know, the lockdown, everything, so I had no more money from the concerts, nothing, and I had to find a job. So I start really simply, just one guitar loop. I posted on BeatStar in June 2020. Then I see some people like it. Then I start doing more loops. Then I do a pack with 21 guitar loops. The first pack, that's called Scorpio. And from there, I just always just try to think about the people, and make it easy for them to, and also fun, to discover my loops. So that's why I always keep in mind when I do the ads for Facebook. I try to. That's why I started, and you talked about the ad with my girlfriend and stuff like that. So it was always like trying to keep it fun and also straightforward. Like put the loop in front and really let the product do the talk. I don't want to say like, oh, you have to buy my loops because I'm the best. I don't know that. I just do my best, and if you like it and if you vibe with it, then you can buy it if you want. But that's it. That's really
And
yeah.
that your girlfriend really hates that or not?
That's a good question. No. Honestly, she like it. She like it.
Yeah.
There's no problem. She like
No, like I
it's
really,
just yeah.
I really, like when I saw the first time I saw that loop, that famous one
Yeah.
that you had, because I think you had one that was like the one that everyone was listening to, like when I heard
Kiwi.
that loop, yeah, that
Thank you.
that first loop, it was like so impactful to me because that was an era where everything was kind of shifting in here in Puerto Rico, and I think in the Latin market, like
Mhm.
the Afro beats started hitting the island, and we were like, oh my
Mhm.
god, like this is the next big thing, everyone's gonna jump into the Afro beat, and I think it was kind of like good timing for you to come in with the guitars because in Africa, uh, all these Afro beats, they had guitars in it, so that was like the sound that was like next to the next big thing to come, and then you come in with
Yeah.
these loops, and I remember that we just had a nice guy in the Smash
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
by that time,
Mhm.
and when we saw him in that podcast, I remember mentioning him, hey, you gotta meet this guy from whatever, he speaks French, and you gotta meet him because he's playing this loop that I think it's gonna be like it can be a big thing if you put that loop in any song. It was very commercial, and it was like the actual trending sound. And I remember I told him, hey, you should contact him. I don't know if you guys even like talked about it after that, but I do think that you coming
That's
with
crazy.
those loops,
Okay.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you put us in touch without, because we never, after we had to work together and everything, because as I told you, he bought a pack on my web store, and I remember we sent, I sent an email, he replied, and another, and then we start chatting more on WhatsApp and all, and working more. I sent more loops and stuff, and yeah, I think we never really talked how we discovered, the loops, but that's crazy to know that it was you actually that
Yeah.
put my name. So really
Dun, dun,
appreciate
dun.
that. Thank you. That's
Hey,
fire.
and what
Yeah.
what inspired you to do that style on the loops?
So I try to do all styles really. When I do loops, it can be R&B, it can be Afro, it can be rock, it can be pop or just acoustic, can be Spanish, can be really. If you go on the website, I think there is like 500, more than 500 loops. And yeah, I just create like all the time loops, like since July. I think like I should have like 300. Like it's just when we do a session and we record loops, it's just I can do yeah, I don't stop until I'm happy. So
And
So you are a
so
guitar. Are you a guitar
yeah.
player from like like did you went to college to study guitar? Like how did you develop your skills?
Yeah.
What made you make that first pack? Like were you listening to urban music? How did you come up with that?
So I started at 9 years old to pick up the guitar. Uh, I started because a friend of mine is playing guitar, and we have a guitar at home, but the guitar is right-handed, and it was a gift to my dad that is left-handed. So he never used the guitar because it was not the right.
Wow.
direction. And so we have the guitar. I don't play until I'm 9, because before that we used to smash the guitar on the ground. That was bad. But anyway, after I take the guitar, I go to the guitar lesson, 15 meters. My neighbor is giving guitar lessons, so I start, because I tried it with a friend and I liked it. So I started. Once I start the guitar, it just become my hobby. All the time I would practice, play new stuff, try to show, hey mom, is it good? No, no, no. And then it was just very bad, but she would say, yeah, that's good. and then yeah, it was just I would spend hours without counting, just I found my thing really. I was not a super like social, I'd say, guy, but I was a geek about the guitar, so I was really working and playing. And I started, the funny thing is that at 11, I think, I started doing loops, making loops with a pedal that's called Jamman. Maybe you heard. It's like a pedal where you record your guitar, you can do the chords, and then you do another layer with the melody, and then another layer, and you can play on top, and really make loops
Awesome.
live. And that's funny, because it's when I came back to that it really started to, I found a way to have a good business, and that it had potential there. And it's really like I did a full circle back to my debut, when I started doing the loops when I was 11. So that's the funny part. And
Right.
yeah.
Go on, you had your first bendiciones. Yeah.
Gracias, muchas gracias. Pero yo aprendí la guitarra con YouTube.
On
Yeah.
YouTube College, right?
YouTube College.
Yeah, like YouTube, watching guitar players and try to do the same, and listening, and really that was my main inspiration for the technique. That was really where I learned everything. Like, and then I did some theory on the side a little bit, some lessons and stuff, but never on the long term, and never academy. No, just a little bit of information sometimes, but that's it.
So
that's it,
from being a guitar player and playing with bands, then the pandemic comes, and you decide to start recording loops. Do you have a setup, like a recording setup, or you had to learn also how to record yourself? And how do you went to that?
Yeah. I remember at the beginning, nothing was, I had to figure out how to organize the loops, how to upload them the best, so that people, it's easy for them to use them, and put all the information correct. Also the terms and conditions, all the, the little tricks and stuff. And it was all a process, because from the start I didn't know anything. So I just discovered as I was going, really. So it was always better and better, and still now I'm trying to make it better. So
so you record yourself?
Yeah, I record myself here. I have this little
An Apollo?
baby.
Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo, that I love. And then I have my computer that I have since 2013. And that's it. With that, a guitar, some headphones, you're good to go. You can.
And what software you use?
I use Logic, because I always been in like using Logic because of my band before and all the music I did. But this time I really discovered how to, find different presets for the guitar, make my own presets, and really find how to make different sounds for different styles of guitars. And that was really, a lot of like improvement and lesson that I tried to figure out. So, okay, if I do Spanish guitar, what do I use on it? If I put too much effects, it's not going to be good. But if I put nothing, then also it's not super appealing. So you have to find, it's just doing what I like. In the end, it please my ear if I like it, that's what I give. But yeah, it was Logic, and never FL, because FL to record is super, It's tricky. It's hard.
Yeah,
But to make
it's kind of
beats,
different.
it's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Yeah.
Any
Mhm.
any
You use
plugin?
FL or what?
We use Reason. We use Reason for for beat
Okay.
production, and even for vocals. We're doing
We
everything
we
now.
do Reason. Before we used to do Logic. We used to do Pro Tools,
Okay.
but now we just go straight Reason for everything. Recording, mixing, mastering. Like
Eh,
we just go all the way with Reason.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you do mastering too. That's super
Yeah.
nice. Nice.
Is
Okay.
there like
Dope.
a
Yeah,
plugin? A plugin that you will say that, oh my god, you know, like this is my go-to plugin when I'm doing my guitars.
Yeah. Always. That's the secret sauce. I cannot talk.
Damn it.
No. I'm gonna tell you, but everybody likes it. I feel like it's I'm a big fan of, I guess, reverb, you know, it's one thing. And the Valhalla reverb, super nice.
Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Zumba,
Right.
zumba, zumba, zumba.
Valhalla, shout out, Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So-
people that have been using Valhalla. We still don't
Yeah.
have it. You know, we're trying to use our own Reason reverbs.
Yeah.
You know, and manipulating those.
Wow. Wow, you need to switch.
But what's so
kidding,
special
but
about
yeah.
about the Valhalla plugins?
It's just super easy to use, and then you have all those modes. You can go from the 70s, which is more like a warm sounding reverb, and then you go to modern, and I just like the visual and the how you can play with it, and it sounds super good too. So yeah, it's just I like it. Maybe there's something else I've never tried, and that's gonna blow my mind. But so
Nice.
far, I'm using that a lot of time. Yeah,
Nice.
Awesome.
for the long reverb, for the even the vocals and stuff, and for the long reverbs, I'd say it's reverb. It's good.
In terms of loops, you know, we've seen your, you know, I mean, we heard your loops. I know you've sent me few of those, and obviously
Yeah.
we love them. Is there something else that you're gonna start doing in the future that you might, you know, jump into, like maybe keys? Because obviously, if you already have a market waiting for loops, people can get anything that, you know, that you produce. Are you looking for something else? Maybe other type of guitars?
Yeah, right now it's really I'm interested into doing more limited packs because you know people they really like what I think what was one of my main like good point like asset it was that I'm not splice, you know, so people that found my guitar loops in the beginning they knew that they were having guitar loops that not a lot of people had, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that they wanted to feel different and stuff, and that's what I want to make people feel all the time with my stuff. So I'm really trying to do more limited pack, so 25 copies and then it's gone, and then you know, and then another one, and then just like that. So that's one thing. Also, I'd love to do, instead of buying the packs, you can have access to a library like a splice but with my guitar loops, you know.
Okay.
And I think like for a subscription, like you subscribe and then you can use the loops, and you have every week new loops coming that are not sold on the website, you know, like more like exclusive, if I can say. Yeah, stuff like that, a subscription. And then, as you say, I think people are also interested, in other sounds. And I've been getting, people were telling me, oh yeah, now you should do, maybe put a flute on the guitar, maybe do keyboards and stuff. But at the same time, I want to keep it super, you know, specialized on the guitar. And I'm still trying to find a way to make it work and keep it specialized. But maybe for people that buy a pack from me, I can offer them some free loops with flutes and stuff, or I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to put it, because I don't want you to arrive on my website and be just another cymatics, you know, because they're already doing it. So
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
They're already doing that. They're much bigger. So it's just no. My thing is the guitar, so I need to. I think that was my also a good asset. It was because I'm specialized in the guitar, and that's really the difference. So
And
yeah, I'm still
just
trying to
talking
see.
about
And then
that you want to do more like a private collection. Have you thought about the NFTs, the melody loops?
you said NFT.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about. I was on the page editing an NFT.
Boom.
That's funny.
Can
Yeah,
you
you
talk a
caught me.
little
You
bit
caught
about
me.
it?
Yeah. So as everybody, I heard about NFTs, and yeah, I was curious, and I tried to learn a little bit more about it, and now I'm like trying to see, okay, because I have a few loops that I think are very like special
Special.
or more complete, and they're like, yeah, like different layers and a little bit special. So I kind of want to make them available for people that would like to own them and be, the owner of the loop, and have it as an NFT, and really, that would be fire. But I'm really at the beginning, so it's really, I'm not sure about anything, and I'm not trying to force anything. But people, I did a little story like asking people to send me NFT if they wanted the secret link and stuff. And yeah, I got a few reactions, so I was happy to see
Okay.
that people are really, they're interested. So let's see.
Do you
But
think do
yeah,
you think that when you get into NFTs, just like if when you get into BeatStars, these
yeah,
platforms are sometimes kind of like saturated. Not the NFT platforms because obviously it's too new. But sometimes when you
mm,
jump into these platforms, they're kind of new and there's like if they're new, there's no traffic. But if it's old, there's a lot of people in it, and it's very hard for you to get your name out there. So
yeah.
what do you think is gonna be your strategy for, or anyone out there? What could be a good strategy for for having people go get your loops in the NFT world?
Yeah, so I think just my my social, Instagram, obviously. Maybe I do an email to let them know. Maybe I'll try an ad on Facebook and Instagram to see. But really, what I want to say also with my loops is something new that I put in place is that if you buy a loop and you make a beat with a loop that you buy online, then you can send me the beat on my email, and I will go through every beat and select, my favorites, and use my network that I was able to get with all that, and try to get a placement together. So I'll do the work to place the beat you made using a loop that you buy. So I think people also, that's something they're interested when maybe they don't have all the connections, or they're starting or whatever. And that's really something I want to put more in place. And eventually something very cool I want to do is I think would be cool, but people would tell me, is that you can also make a beat, and okay, I will try to place it if I like the beat, but I will also do like a new menu on the website that is for artists that want to find guitar beats. And then I will sell the beat, and we split 50-50 with the producer, and I will sell the beat to artists that they made using my loops, something like that.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That's good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but let me,
No,
yeah,
it's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I really
yeah,
think that's a good idea. Um,
I want to try
one
that, yeah.
one one question that I have: what if I buy a loop, right, and then he buys
Yeah,
the same loop, and then we both make a
yeah,
beat with that loop,
yeah.
and we want to release
And
the song?
and his song is with Bad Bunny, and my song is with Raúl Alejandro. What's gonna happen?
How do we handle that?
Yeah, that's the tricky case that, thanks God, like never happened, but yeah, it can happen. And the thing is that with the big placement, the major placement, as we call that, you need to. There is like something written that it's better you get in touch with me before, for that reason, because you don't know, and that's why they are like two different paths that I try to have. There are people in the industry really, you know, connected to big major artists, and obviously if they work with big artists, they want to make sure also they will be the only one to get the loop. So it always go together, you know, like they will not just buy a loop kit and try to make a big beat and knowing that somebody else can buy the same and do also with the same loop. So I think that's the good side, that people like the big, you know, big producer or whatever, they try. Depends, not everybody has the same mentality, but then it's their risk, you know. It's their risk if they buy the thing and they don't contact you before, or they like to use what everybody else has used, and they need to make the right business not to be in those situations. But I think most of the time people are looking for original loops and unique, and nobody else will have it. And that's why we're doing, you know, when I work with a bigger producer, then I try to provide more like original content that I will never put in packs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Obviously in the beginning it was hard because, you know, I could not invest all my time and just work. Like I try to always make the most out of what I create, you know. So if I create a loop and I put in a pack, then first thing is that I think it should stay my property, if I can say, because I'm the creator of the loop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then multiple people can do beats with it. Okay, that's also a first problem, because not even like you're talking making songs with two big artists and you would have a problem with the same loop, obviously. But already YouTube, they have an algorithm, you know, that detects if it's the same loop and you have two different beats. Even me, when I posted one of my loop, YouTube told me, oh, you're using the content of another beat, and it's because somebody posted a beat with my loop before me, and then I was screwed, you
Wow.
know, because he registered. Yeah, and that's the big problem right now. I'm trying to see how can I, you know, there is like content ID or how can I register my loop and my work so
So
multiple
you will
people
have to
can
put
use
it
it
first.
without problem?
You
Yeah,
will have to put it
I think.
first just by itself, the loop. So
Yeah,
that way it gets that content ID, and from there then it
Yeah,
will
you have
detect
the
everybody
control.
else.
exactly.
Have you tried
Exactly.
using DistroLock from
Yeah.
DistroKid?
Not yet, actually, but maybe I should look into it. I'm gonna type it.
Yeah, because
But
what I heard from many beat makers, obviously beat makers,
yeah, yeah,
there's like loops, but I think it should work the same way.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
upload your loop in DistroKid and use the DistroLock, it should create a content ID for you. Obviously, you should have it before anyone else tries to submit the song or the beat with the loop, you know. But it should work, and it should
okay,
track it. And obviously, if someone
fire.
buys a license from you for that loop, you get notified, and you're gonna be able to say, oh yeah, he can use the loop. Let me exclude it. There's like a
Exactly,
wild list, so you
exactly,
can put it in there.
exactly.
And also
That's
by
fire.
using the
Thank you for that.
NFT,
Because
you know, the
I'm learning.
NFT will have that. You know, it will have that
The DNA,
the
yeah.
DNA.
Yeah, that's like another question that I
Yeah,
have. Like when you're thinking of NFTs, and I've
yeah,
heard that you're supposed to get kind of like the 10%. Usually, that's like the standard in many platforms. That you will
yeah,
always retain the 10%. When you get a placement with with another producer, and you told me
yeah.
that you're trying to split 50-50, but what about that 10% revenue that you should have whenever an album is selling or whatever? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have to be honest with you. I'm still in the learning to
Yeah,
really see, you know, like as long I'm the type of person, as long as I don't see it working, I cannot really know, you know. I have to
yeah,
have a feeling and really see how it. So, yeah, I'm trying to know the most theory as I can, but so what I understand is that you tell me because probably you know more than me on that. So, if I put a loop, somebody buys it, then okay, he's the owner of the loop, Then if he tried to sell it to somebody else and somebody else buys it, then I can get also 10% on the new price, right? Or something like that. You can set
Exactly.
Yes.
your yeah.
Royalty.
Okay,
It's
so
a
that's one
10%
thing.
royalty.
Yeah. But what if, okay, now he uses it in a song? How can I be sure that I will get, percentage or whatever? To me, it was a different deal to have on the side, but I understand that some people actually know. It's like when you buy the NFT, you're buying a portion of the track, something. Like, so how does it work actually? I'm asking the question.
Yeah. That's something that we have to look into.
Yeah.
Because I think it's two different things when you use a loop that you have rights to it, and then when it becomes a song, the loop, it's a part of the composition, right? So that's something that we have to figure out. That's something we should find.
You know what's gonna happen? That you're gonna become a millionaire in 1 year, and you're gonna come to this podcast and talk about it. Okay, let's do that.
The first NFT millionaire guitar loop.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, but hey, just make sure that you give us that exclusivity. Like we need that interview whenever you become rich with an NFT.
Hey, you know what? There's somebody. There's
the next step.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
There's a producer called Illmind. I don't know if you heard about him.
Yeah.
Illmind is doing already NFTs, and he's doing melody packs on NFT. So that's somebody you should look into and see how he does it. Maybe he explains it more.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out definitely, because I haven't seen any, like it's a little tip, but it's still super fresh. Like the guitar loop on the NFT, there's nobody, there's nobody. So yeah, I'm trying to figure it out ASAP, because I think, like, I'm like, I have all those loops, so I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, that would be stupid not to try at least, So yeah, I'm trying that. And I will get some information from Illmind. I will try to see how it does that. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your placements, cause obviously it's so fucking unreal that you started selling these loops in June 2020, and all of a sudden, I don't know how much time it passed for you to get your first placement in the music industry. But let's talk about the Latin music industry, because I've seen the names that you have in your profile, and man, Bad Bunny is there, right?
No, I wish, but not yet. I'm working.
Who's there?
There is, so the latest placement is one with Nice Guy. I'm super happy. It's with Dookie. And
yeah, he's hot right now.
Yeah, and Rels B.
Okay. Okay.
It's like a featuring, and it's on the album of Dookie, and it's a production with Nice Guy. And that's the latest. And then I have this song with Piso 21 with Subeloneo that we work with.
How did that happen?
Yeah, so it's always like kind of the same with Instagram, but then it's always different as well. So with Subelo, I think it was like, I reached out to them because like I sent a message because I was really a big fan of their music and how they do the beats and everything. And so I sent a message, and then Freddie, which is one of the two, you have Phantom, you have Freddie. And Freddie just replied, and he was like, yeah, send loops, no. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it on WhatsApp. Then I sent the first loop I sent on my WhatsApp, honestly. The first one that I sent him ever is the loop that he chose for Piso 21 directly. He was like, okay, we're gonna do something to that. And then he comes back to me a few days after, and he's like, yeah, you can block it with something with it. It's fire. And then he's like, no, it's not Bad Bunny, but don't worry.
Wow. Hey, but
Because
that's
yeah, they've been
huge.
working with Bad Bunny all the time, and yeah, so but
That's
anyway, it's
huge.
Piso 21. That's fire. So they did a video with that, a big video. I think like in under 24 hours, it had like 1 million views or more. And yeah, it was my first Latin placement really with people that I've listened to.
Uh,
Neil,
s-
super
can
dope.
can you repeat that because it got cut off a little bit?
Yeah, so I was saying to be able to work with people that I was, listening to for the past, year, 2 years, and I really loved the music. It was dope, so I was super happy.
It's so interesting that you're from the other part of the world and you're
Yeah,
a consumer of the Latin music industry. Like how did that
yeah,
happen?
yeah. It's funny because it was not always like that, like and that's really when I heard this guy, Bad Bunny. That and in the beginning I was hearing the song with Drake, Mia,
Mm.
and here in Europe that's a song that was played regularly. It was the first song that really we heard about him, honestly. Um,
Okay.
so in Belgium, so I hear that song and I'm like, who's this guy? He sounds very different, and not, in the beginning I was like a little bit, it's different, it's too much, it's doing too much, it's like, and then I hear it, and then I go, I look for his career more, the other songs, and then I get it, I get the energy, everything, and I'm like, fuck, he's killing it right now. And I fucking like it talks to me, everything, like the lyrics, the flows, the everything. So I'm like, okay, so the reggaeton is not only Despacito, it's also like some dark stuff. So so that's when I connected to reggaeton. Honestly, I was like, okay, you can make dark reggaeton, and it's shifting. It's not just the reggaeton like the European version of reggaeton that we see, or only the big songs like Despacito. I told you, Despacito was super big here, but it was kind of, we were hearing only this one, and it was just, I was not into it at that time, because it was only that one, and then I understand that there was a whole variety, and I was like, okay. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, with my guitar, I want to do something there, I want to mix the sounds, I want to bring some rock into the reggaeton, some stuff, and if I can do that, that's my dream. So yeah,
Awesome.
If
that's
you
exciting.
if you have to choose a genre, like usually we musicians identify with some kind of roots, like, yeah, I'm a jazz player,
Mm.
I'm a rock guitar player, like what do you identify with?
So really, I started with the big guitar player. So it was like super technical. It's called one is called Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. All those big
Yeah,
play. You know them?
the virtuous, they're crazy people.
Yeah, virtuoso. Like yeah,
Yeah.
really. And that was the beginning. Then I did more Richie Kotzen, then John Mayer, then obviously Jimi Hendrix, Carlos Santana, all those guys,
Oh my
all the
God,
the
you
big
said
guitar
that.
players.
I see like like from being a geek, getting into like the popular songs, bam 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 bam, and then you got commercial.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's really that. And then after the blues, it was a little bit jazz, then a little bit, and then yeah, I arrive in the. I love also Elvis Presley, and the rock and roll stuff and all that,
Okay.
and all the '70s rock. And then I arrive in the urban, really the reggaeton, the trap, Latin trap that I love too. Really, Latin trap is really my go-to. I don't listen to so much French, honestly, music. If you see my playlist, that's Latin trap, that's the reggaeton, that's some Elvis Presley after, and some uh, music from the 50s. Because right now it's Christmas, so I'm like in this mood, like 50s and those songs with
Mm-hmm.
Frank Sinatra and all. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
really just, that's what I like, really. Yeah, that's,
Nice. That's awesome,
you know
bro.
some French artist or. You heard about Aya Nakamura, maybe?
We haven't heard much from over there.
Yeah, I need
You gotta send us
No.
some stuff.
exactly.
If I
Make a
if I
playlist
say
for
if I
us.
say the song Jaja,
Oh yeah, I know that
oh
one.
Jaja,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with
Yeah,
Maluma, there was a
Uh huh.
remix, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The, she is like the biggest, singer in France, and she did this song that was a hit. And yeah, so every time I try to talk about French music, I said, "Do you know Aya Nakamura?" And yeah, that was
Okay,
crazy when
okay.
I was in
So
Colombia
then,
the first time.
uh huh.
Yeah,
No, I was gonna
you
say
hear me?
that it means that Afrobeat is already big over there. If that song is so popular there, and
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Afrobeat is super like popular, but it's not reggaeton. It's like very different. You do it
mm,
different. The reggaeton that you do is always gonna sound better. Here we cannot do that. It doesn't work. Like nobody has cracked the code yet, to make it work. It's always Afro, more Afro, yeah, and trap, and they did a little bit of drill with the French, or just pop, regular pop, French pop, and um, which is
You know, we
more
talk
boring.
about we talk about a lot about the vibe that the island has. That even if you're doing reggaeton in Miami, it will sound completely different than doing reggaeton over here. There's a different vibe.
Yeah,
Different. I don't know what it is. It just music here comes out differently, darker, more like street. Underground
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. That's fire. I wanna go so much, like really, to Puerto Rico. It's the next stop, honestly, with to work with the people I already work with, but in studios, and to see the island and see the vibe, because yeah, it seems that like there is something going on there.
Yeah.
I
Puerto
don't know
Rico
what
is
you have in the water or whatever, but there's something.
dude. It's that we call it a calentón. It's like
Yeah,
that like everywhere you go it's hot. But not
yeah,
meaning
yeah,
hot hot. What I mean, like street hot. Cause people do their thing here everywhere, and you grow in that kind of environment, and like you feel that vibe, and I don't know, it makes you feel like that, like you're in the hood.
that's right. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I see definitely not my village here. We have cows around. That's
Mhm.
it. It's like, so, yeah. Really, for the music, I never was in a musical environment. And, my family, they don't play music. My friends, nobody, we had the band with some friends, and yeah, they were the only person that played music. But other than that, nobody is into, rapping or producing beats. Like, so
Wow.
it was always like, I was always looked at like I was like I was an alien. They looked at me like I was doing something like different, and they were looking like, "What are you doing?" No, nobody's doing that here. And but yeah,
And what about the
finally,
clubs? What music do they play over there in the clubs?
yeah. So clubs here, it's electro. They like electro music. Europe, you can expect.
Hmm.
Also the Afro, the big songs in France, Afro, or also the super old French pop songs, like the classics and stuff. That would be the main sounds we have here. But it's sad to see that the radio and everything, they're so close into a certain sound. You cannot really bring anything original and different, and there is not really a movement going on. And that's what I like about the Latin trap movement, for example, or the reggaeton, what it's doing now. And that's really something that I'm like, okay, there's something happening there. Here it's just boring. So that's
Hmm.
the difference. That's the big difference. Yeah.
Hmm. I
Maybe
wanna
he can
Yeah.
be the first.
maybe you can bring that movement over there.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring, my guitar to already those productions. It's already a dream, honestly. Like, and yeah, further, like if I can bring more, original stuff on the guitar, more guitar solos. Also, one dream would be also to play with a big artist, on stage, because I love to do the concerts and stuff, and really jamming on the guitar is one of the most fun. thing to do. So if there is an artist that wants a guitar player, I'm ready. I'll take the plane ticket.
Escucharon.
Let's
And,
go.
and on the plaques, you say you already have a plaque, right?
Yeah, it's coming. I just ordered, so it's gonna come this time.
How much do
Actually,
they charge? Like, because when you get a plaque, you have to pay for it, right?
yeah, that's the thing people don't know when they start. But yeah, if you're a producer and you want a plug, then you pay for it, unless you have a very good contact, in a label or something. But yeah, most of the time you pay for it, and it's usually a couple hundred. So it's like it's even more expensive to pay for the plugs than the money you will get from the song. So
Man,
it just make no sense. It's just
Oh.
crazy, but
That's a good
Yeah.
question. Let's talk about
yeah,
business. Okay,
Yeah.
when you get your loops out there, and you get a major placement, how does that negotiation works? What kind of leverage do you have when you go into the table and, hey, this is how much I want?
I'd say just in general, producer, it's still not really into the mentality that if you make a song with somebody, then you should share, the revenue that's going to bring the song, and it's like you're a band, Then if not, if you don't want to share, then I'd say do it alone, just don't use a loop. That's the thing that first I'd say, and it's still something like we need to work more on that, so the loop maker, they can have like the recognition. I heard, crazy stories like people, they use the loop in big songs like Medusa, Medusa from Anuel.
Yeah.
So the guy that did the loop, okay, it was his fault because he put it on Splice, I think. But now the loop is used and the guy is not credited. He will get nothing from the song, and it's a huge
Because
song.
because it was a splice loop, right?
Exactly. In this case, that's why. But just in general, I think producer, they're like, if they can just get away with it and take the loop and and then they don't read the thing, and then, then eventually you always have to get back your rights, and so you get in touch with the label or with the producer, because usually, like, the responsible, okay, should be the producer because he didn't read something, but like the final person that released the song, so the label, for example, they're really the one that have to make sure that everything was right. If they didn't ask the producer if everything was cleared or whatever, then they made a mistake. So I don't know. It's really tricky at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's really something you have to. Yeah, it's your work. So I mean, there was no way I was gonna let somebody use my loop in a big song if I work with him on the song and he tried to, not pay me and not put my name, and I just leave it there. No, like, that's not how you do business. So at the beginning, I had to go after and ask for, some recommendation to some people in the business, and slowly you can have a little bit more leverage, and some people can help you to do the business side, and eventually, you can sign maybe to a publishing company or something. And that's really what I am like, that's my point right now, to be honest. Like, it's like, I get some exposure, I do my placements with Instagram, with everything, I learn about the business, and now some publishing wants to hand me, a contract and sign me, but I'm gonna take my time, and
Yes.
just
That's the smart thing to do.
Take the time. Don't rush
because
it.
I've been able to do it so far alone, So I'm like, okay, what can you bring, on the table, honestly, like, in terms of, because you have the big advance, so I understand that the money can, make you forget about everything else. But if you look on the paper and you look how much they can make in return for the advance, they will be winning, No worries about them, That's the business model, so it works. And that's why you need to take your time and really see if they can bring opportunities on the table, really, and really help you out, and not just be another name in their catalog. That's really not what I want to do. And yeah, I just want to keep that dynamic, that I have, just talking to producer directly. And now, luckily, I have a little bit more help on the business, and I see a little bit more clear. But yeah, it took time. I had the bad experience from the beginning where I would create a song, big song, like 50 million streams it's nothing for the Latino, but it's a French song, so it's a big song, like 15 million streams
That's
on
a
the
lot. That's a lot.
French market. The song, that's the platinum album that I'm gonna get. And yeah, this producer, we worked on the song. I bring the idea, like I say, okay, we stop working on what we're doing. I want to do something different, crazy, I don't know. Then I start something on the guitar, and it inspires him the whole song, and then he starts the drums. Then I help him with the bass. I do some arrangement with him. And then I was young, naive. Then they try to buy my rights. They buy it. I never signed the paper, but they pay me like very few for the guitar. And then I see it's a big song and I don't have my name in it, and it's just fucked up. And you have to fight for your rights, as would say Bob Marley.
Especially if you didn't sign the paperwork, it means that it's still yours.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly. That was the thing. And yeah, just I think everybody should be, proud of their work. And if you like what you're doing and somebody wants to use it and wants to do a song with it, then you're a band. Then you need to have a business agreement, something. And it's not because you're nobody at the beginning, obviously, that you should shut your mouth and just say, oh, okay, it's okay, I will not get the credit, but it's a big pleasure to work with you. No, like, we're making music together. Maybe the guy you're working with is super huge and big, but if he's, like, we're making music together, then you find an agreement. Maybe, yeah, you will have not the best agreement at the beginning because you're starting, but at least something, because then it doesn't make sense. And I don't think people should just shut their mouth and just be like, okay, it's okay. It's because he's a big producer, so I don't get my name, I don't get money, I don't get anything, but it's nice I work with him. And no, because when you start doing that, you know how it is. You start doing that, and that's how they see you too, and they can do it again, and that's when it becomes bad, So I think that would be one big point. Like, you have to set the
bar, set the bar, the standard.
Yeah, the bar directly, like directly set we have to respect each other, it's a collaboration, it's a work we did together. So no matter who's the most famous, we need to have something going on, like a business side of things. And yeah, so that's something I think.
So yeah. you would tell them, okay, let's do this before we start. That way we covered, and then we can worry about the creative part, right?
So yeah, that's the dream case. You do that, you secure everything before, everybody knows the split, you talk about it, it's written, then it's perfect. But most of the time what happens is that you send loops to somebody that you build a relationship with, and then the song is out and nobody signed no paper, and then you deal, or so that's already a little bit more tricky. But yeah, the best situation is that on the Piso 21 song, that was perfect, honestly. Like, that was super smooth. Freddie was super nice. He told me, okay, I can do that for you. We signed before, everything was cleared, like, no problem. That's really the mentality. That's the best experience,
That kind of song, when you have, I mean, I don't want you to tell me exactly your percentage unless you want to, but I want to know what kind of expectations does a loop maker can have when it's collaborating in this kind of like composition, because we understand that when you have a split sheet you should have 50% the lyrics, 50% the music, right? So
Yes.
in terms of you're working in the music side, so there's like a 50% out of that song. How much can you take? Obviously you don't you can take more if you want to. It's just depending on what leverage you have. Like, what is the expectation of a loop maker?
Yeah, so usually if your like your loop, you can hear it clearly on the song, and you did, it every situation is different, right? Because everybody will look at it, okay, but if I do even like the smallest melody but that inspired the full song, then maybe it's 50-50. But then if I didn't inspire the full song, but then I did a lot of tracks and a lot of loops within the song, then it's also 50-50 because you put more work. So what should be the right, there's no like theory for that, really. It really depends on your relationship with the producer, the team, maybe the artist, And so I'd say I always try to get my hands on the production side, So when I do guitar loop, I don't just do I record it, then I send it dry. No, I try to put the reverb, the process, everything, and I try to arrange it, and then I put a halftime, and then I switch, I do another track, and then I organize it, I arrange it, so it becomes production. So it means that I did the musician part, composing, and production.
Arrangement.
So then, so then it's more fair if you can have like a co-production,
Yeah.
So that would be the best deal, the best situation is just equal split. Everybody did his part. It's all good. That's
Always
the
aim
good
for the
situation.
50%. I mean, for the 50 of the 50.
Yeah,
But always go for
if
it.
you're two on the tracks, if you're two on the tracks and there's only one other producer, I think it should be a co-production. And if you didn't do just two notes, or obviously if you replayed a loop and it's not original, then it's different too, It's very different. If you bring an original idea, or if you replayed something that he played on a VST, then it's just a musician job and it's different, so you're gonna get less. Then I understand, But
Túmbale. That's right.
yeah.
Getting gems. Bueno, mi gente, por si acaso, ¿verdad? Vamos a explicarle un poquito en español a la gente. Él nos está contando
Sí.
que él envía loops de guitarra, pero que él trata siempre de no solamente mandar una versión del loop. Él también puede coger ese loop, ponerle efecto, ponerle en reverse, ponerle halftime, bajarle en la octava, y él envía varios formatos diferentes del mismo loop para así poder aportar en la producción del tema. Que no solamente sea, toqué este loop y ya se hizo un beat con esto, sino para él poder cobrar más en los splits, pues entonces él aportó más que solamente un loop.
Claro. And also I've seen from the loops that you sent that it's not only a simple loop, a 4-bar loop. I've seen that you make the 4-bar loop, then sometimes you integrate that loop with another top melody, and then you shift it down an octave, like you play with it, and there's like more than just a 4 or 8-bar loop. It's more of like a kind of like a mood of a song with 3 sections, sometimes 2.
Yeah, I like to have fun with the loops, because just making one loop that goes, forever is just really what I like. Is modifying the loop is super fun, too, because you can do so much with only one loop. It's crazy, you can do as many rhythm as you want. Then you can also change it with some plugins like halftime that I love to, Effectrix and all those plugins, and shift it, pitch it down or up. then I think it's super interesting because you can get super creative. The reverse also. Reverse is crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, try always to give like a little arrangement so you have different vibes and different mood in one loop. And then maybe you're gonna be inspired by the second one, not the first, you know, the one that is more dark, you know, darker because I dropped everything one octave.
Mm.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so
different ways of selling the beat. I mean the loop, because you know sometimes you hear it in one way, but then if you listen to it in another way, then oh yeah, that I love it. You know.
exactly.
And especially
Exactly.
now that music is being more simple, especially beat makers are more
Yeah,
simple. So that
yeah,
those different parts of the same loop can make the whole beat. You know, in one section you use the loop this way, in the other section you use it the other
exactly.
way, and it ends up being most of the time the
Mm-hmm.
guitar being the
Right.
featured instrument on the track.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, usually when you choose to do a guitar beat, let's say, then they take the loop and they will not add, you know, too much because I always try to provide different elements. So the chords that you can hear it's a real guitar. Then maybe I will do a little melody on top. You can hear it's a guitar. Then I do a third layer that is something more like a pad, you know. I will half time the first one, so I have like long notes. Then I would pitch it up, put a big reverb on it. Then it does like a shimmery pad, you know, on top, like a little layer, you know, on top.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, so it's complete, you know. You could use that loop and just use all the elements, and if you're creative enough you can create the full beat with that. No, not even one VST if you want, you know, maybe just the bass, drums. If you want to add, yeah, maybe one sound like synth, but then it's good, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, I try to have fun, you know, with the guitar because when you do loop is it can be also, you know, if I do just loop one track it can be boring, I guess, at some point. So I want to experiment with the guitar and see if I can not do different textures. Yeah.
You're doing the producer's job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what a
Saving time.
producer would do when they get a loop. You know, so you're basically producing the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, 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 that's true. I've seen some producer, they always redo my loops and that they're doing what I do on some loops, so I'm like, yeah, actually that would be the producer part, yeah. But I
Yeah.
like to do that because it's on the guitar, so there's still like a lot of production to do with the drums and everything, and yeah, it's cool.
Excellent.
Quick question. When you approach to these producers, there's gotta be a kind of technique that you use. It's not that easy. I think I've tried reaching out to what's his name, Phantom Neo. But you talk to Freddy or Phantom? I don't Freddy, right? You talk to Freddy.
Freddy, yeah, yeah, Phantom, we a little bit we talked, but not so much, so yeah.
So I've tried reaching out sometimes to these producers, and sometimes it's not that easy. You know, like they get a lot of DMs,
Yeah,
people wanting to
yeah,
collaborate or trying to buy a beat.
of course.
What's your approach?
Yeah. That's a very good question because yeah, like Instagram can be a powerful tool if you do it the right way. And I guess for producer, the first thing is that what do they want, you know? That would be what I think when I go to them, you know, with a message. I'm trying to really know, okay, what can I bring on the table that they will reply, you know, actually. They will reply because they cannot miss it. So that
Yeah.
was my question in the beginning. I was like, okay, what can I do that they will always reply? Or not always, because obviously sometimes you get lost in the DMs or they don't reply or they, whatever reason. But so I think something I told you already earlier is super important to them is the exclusive side, you know? So if you go to them and you're like, yo, what's good? No, no, no. I like your work. Congrats on all the work so far, something. And then you just say, let me know if you need any exclusive guitar loop or whatever loop, you know. I got you. Like, just I just go there, I propose, I'm not like begging or trying anything. I'm just like, okay, just know that I'm out there ready to do exclusive work for you. So if you need, and that's it. That's it. That's the secret.
Simple.
That's it. That's it. There's no.
That's simple. That's simple.
Yeah, really, it's not so. They will get your vibe if they can hear your work or see your ads, and that was the thing I didn't realize, because I saw the music could connect me with people that I didn't even speak Spanish. And now I speak a little bit, but it's better in English if I have to explain a lot. Yes. We will finish with the Spanish, I promise.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but like I saw that the music was already telling so much, and that if they're able to see your ads or your work, and then you send them a DM and they already seen you a little bit before, and it's gonna click. Like they're gonna be like, oh, I've seen his ads, I think I liked something, and now he's proposing me exclusive stuff. Yeah, why not? And then yeah, I think that's
Ha-
really not. I'm not trying to do like some crazy strategy with the DMs or anything. No, it's just, yo, what's up? How are you? And then I like your work. Obviously, if I reach out to them, it's because I want to work with them because I like what they're doing. And after is just, yeah, if you need some exclusive loops, I got you. That's it.
How much
Yeah.
money did you spend on ads before getting to to get recognized? Because I saw you literally every single day during the pandemic.
Yeah, I know that sometimes I was working with producers and I was seeing that they were seeing my ads way too much, and we need to work on that, honestly, because it's not the purpose. It's not good.
Hey,
I
it's
don't
not.
want that. So
Hey, it
No,
worked. It worked.
it worked. It's not bad. I'm not criticizing it. I'm saying it's
yeah.
crazy. Like you certainly did some kind of trick. To show up in the right industry. Like I don't know what kind of target words were you using, but you showed up to me. I'm a producer. Same to the other
hmm
guys.
hmm Yeah. So on this side, at the beginning, I was doing it myself, and then I was seeing it was a full job, to take care of the ads and everything. And but that was what I needed, because as I told you, I'm really from this little village in Belgium, the other side of the world, and I'm not connected to anybody, in the industry. I didn't know anybody, so it was super. I had to put myself, there and show my work. So then I started working with some guys that did the marketing, and yeah, they were taking care of all that, because it's a full job. As I told you, it's really looking at the numbers and not spending too much there or there or there. And they're doing that because it was just too much focus, honestly, and I wanted to be focused on the loops,
Hmm.
so on the product. um, so yeah, yeah, we ads can be expensive. That's all I'm gonna say. Can be expensive for sure. It can
Yeah.
be expensive, but luckily, like this money was made by selling loops too. So it was crazy. It was like we found, like, that was the best feeling, because I was putting $1, then $2 were coming out, and I was like, what? Then it's perfect. Then we're like, okay, let's go, let's push, let's try more. But then you had some updates with the iOS, maybe you heard,
Yeah, the
like the
Facebook.
privacy and yeah, everything changed in the last month, and now they changed their name, and so basically the Facebook ads are probably not as good as they were like 6 months or 8 months ago. But still, you have to find the new ways. Maybe now is going to be Snapchat ads, because it's super fresh, super new, and you're going to use Snapchat and find a way. But yeah, it's
Snapchat.
just yeah, I think it's just trying to focus on the product is super important, because that's the first thing people are going to use or listen or anything, and then the rest be you have to catch them. So it's, if you do just play the guitar and like, yeah, buy my loops, then they're not interested, you know. And I can imagine being a producer and seeing that, and I'm like, no. But if I see something funny, maybe I'll be like, okay, I've never seen that, and that's how it happened. Really, I had good feedback on those videos, and I definitely want to do more of those, you know, because that's how you get some attention. And
Yeah.
and really, I think still a lot of people have not discovered that I make guitar loops, and they're still maybe on Splice, you know, using the same as everybody, and they're like wondering, how can I have my own guitar player, like, or original stuff that not everybody's using? And I think I'm still, you know, at the very beginning, so it's still it would be still good that they can hear, you know, my work and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bueno, mi gente,
Thanks a lot, bro.
queremos
Thanks a
darle
lot.
las
Thanks a lot.
gracias.
Thanks a
Hablo
lot.
mucho.
No, durísimo.
That
O sea,
was perfect, bro. Perfect.
The more you say, the
Yeah.
more content we get, the
Gracias.
better, you know. Te queremos dar las gracias por, ¿verdad? Por reunirte con nosotros. Yo sé que yo estuve detrás tuyo por un par de tiempo tratando de que pasara este podcast, que siento que es bien importante. No todo el mundo tiene... No todo el mundo, o sea, I'm saying that, you know, I've been trying to reach out to you to come to the podcast, you know, like for few months trying to make this happen, and you know, it's not easy.
It's true.
But I thought that, you know, you have a very interesting story. Not everyone can live off making loops with a guitar, and I think it was very, very important for us to, you know, to show the people, our fans, our community, that, you know, you don't only have to be a beat maker or a producer. You can do a lot of things, and maybe from being a guitar player, you can become a producer, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for being part of this community,
No,
showing your
gracias
love.
a ti. Gracias a ti. A ustedes. Gracias por la invitación. Sí, and como it was the first time that I really talked about it, so I was super happy to have this opportunity, you know. Gracias por la oportunidad.
Yeah.
Seguro, ¿no?
No, esto es una entrevista legendaria. Es la primera entrevista que se le hace a Sebastien Graux.
Sí, full. Y aquí a un año
Sí,
ya
sí,
va a ser
sí.
millonario con los NFTs.
Amen.
Amén.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. Thanks a lot. The community really appreciates this opportunity there. So we're gonna
Thank
see
you.
you in PR soon.
Yeah,
let's
January,
make-
right? January,
Yes.
you're coming?
January, if you know, if everything goes good, or February, yeah. But as soon as possible. I've been 2 times in the US now, and every time I never went to PR, and this time is the right time. The third time I go, I have
Yes.
to go, you know. So next time I see you in the studio, hopefully.
Yes.
Ya
Yes.
saben, a todos los productores que nos están viendo de aquí de Puerto Rico, Sebastien va a estar aquí pronto. Cuando esté aquí lo vamos a anunciar para que todo el mundo se entere y puedas estar en el estudio con todo el mundo. Tienes que meterte a los estudios de todo el mundo, así que...
Yes.
Bueno, mi gente, nos vemos.
Vale.
Hasta la próxima. No se olviden suscribirse a nuestro canal, comentar, darle like. Y si quieren algún loop de este hombre, vamos a dejar el link aquí abajo en la descripción para que puedan conseguir sus loops. Así que nos vemos hasta la próxima, mi gente.
Chequeamos,
Chequeamos.
Corillo.